नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया। I am Dr. Bharat Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Pathology, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today's topic we will continue the amyloidosis part 2nd. Now, systemic amyloidosis. First is primary systemic amyloidosis. Primary amyloidosis consisting of AL fibril protein is systemic or generalized in distribution. About 30% of AL amyloid have some form of plasma cell dyscrasias, most commonly multiple myelomas, and less often other monoclonal gammopathies such as Waldenstrom's macroglobulinemia, heavy chain disease, solitary plasmacytoma, and beta cell lymphoma, B cell lymphoma. The remaining 70% cases of AL amyloid do not have any evident beta cell proliferation, B cell proliferation disorder, or any other associated disease, and thus are cases of the true primary idiopathic amyloidosis. AL amyloid is most prevalent type of systemic amyloidosis in North America and Europe and is seen in individual past the age of 40 years and is rapidly progressive disease if not treated. Primary amyloidosis is often severe in the heart, kidney, bowel, skin, periphery, nerves, respiratory tract, skeletal muscle, and tongue. Now, secondary reactive systemic amyloidosis. The second form of systemic or generalized amyloidosis is reactive or inflammatory or secondary, in which the fibril protein contain AA amyloid. Secondary or reactive amyloidosis occurs typically as a complication of chronic infections like tuberculosis, bronchiectasis, chronic osteomyelitis, chronic pyelonephritis, leprosy, chronic skin infection. Non-infectious chronic inflammatory conditions associated with tissue destructions. The examples are autoimmune disorders such as rheumatoid arthritis, lupus inflammatory bowel, lupus, and inflammatory bowel disease. Some tumors examples are renal cell carcinoma, Hodgkin's disease, and in familial Mediterranean fever, an inherited disorder. Secondary amyloidosis is typically distributed in solid abdominal viscera like the kidney, liver, spleen, and adrenals. Secondary reactive amyloidosis is seen less frequently in developed countries due to containment of infections before they become chronic, but this is not more common type of amyloidosis. This is the more common type of amyloidosis in underdeveloped and developing countries of the world. Secondary systemic amyloidosis can occur at any age in the only form of amyloid which can even occur in children. Hemodialysis associated amyloidosis patient on the long term dialysis for more than 10 years for chronic renal failure may develop systemic amyloidosis derived from B2 beta 2 microglobulin, which is normal component of MHC. The amyloid deposit are preferentially found in the vessel wall at the synovium joint, tendon, sheath, and subchondral bones. Heredofamilial amyloidosis. A few rare examples of genetically determined amyloid having familial recurrence and seen in certain geographical regions have been described. That examples are hereditary pyelonephropathies, amyloidosis, amyloid in familial Mediterranean fever, and rare hereditary form of mutation of normal protein. B is local amyloidosis. Senile cardiac amyloidosis. Senile cardiac amyloidosis is seen in 50% of people above the age of 70 years. The deposits are seen in the heart and aorta. Senile cerebral amyloidosis is heterogeneous group of amyloid deposition of varying etiologies that includes sporadic, familial, hereditary, and infectious. Some of the important diseases associated with cerebral amyloidosis and the corresponding amyloid protein are Alzheimer's disease, Down syndrome, and transmissible spongiform encephalitis. In Alzheimer's disease, deposit of amyloid is seen as congophilic, angiopathic, neurofibrillary changes, and in senile plaques. Endocrine amyloidosis. Some endocrine lesions are associated with microscopic deposits of amyloid. Examples are medullary carcinoma of the thyroid, islet cell tumor of the pancreas, and type 2 diabetes mellitus. Localized tumor forming amyloid. Sometimes isolated tumor-like formation of amyloid deposits are seen. Examples are in lungs, larynx, skin, urinary bladder, tongue, eyes. Isolated atrial amyloid is the most of these. The amyloid type is AL. Staining characteristic of amyloid. Stain on gross. The oldest method since the time of Virchow for the demonstrating amyloid on cut surface of a gross specimen or on the frozen paraffin section is iodine stain. Loophole iodine imparts mahogany brown color to the amyloid containing area, which on addition of dilute sulfuric acid turns blue. H&E amyloid by light microscopy with hematoxylin and eosin stains appear as extracellular homogeneous structureless and eosinophilic hyaline material, especially in relation to the blood vessel. Metachromatic stains or Rosellini dyes. Rosanilline dye. Amyloid has the property of metachromasis, that is, the dye reacts with amyloid and undergoes a color change. Metachromatic stains employed are resonaline dyes such as methyl violet and crystal violet, which imparts rose pink coloration to amyloid deposits. Congo red or polarized light. All type of amyloid have affinity for Congo red stain. Therefore, this method is used to confirmation of amyloid of all types. The stain may be used on both gross specimen and microscopic sections. Amyloid of all types stain pink red color. If the stain section is viewed in polarized light, the amyloid characteristic shows apple green birefringence due to cross beta pleat sheet configuration of amyloid fibrils. Fluorescent stains. Fluorescent stains thioflavin T binds to amyloid and fluorescence yellow under ultraviolet light, that is amyloid emits secondary fluorescence. Thioflavin S is less specific. Or immunohistochemistry. Type of amyloid can be classified by immunohistochemical stain, in which corresponding antibody stain is used against the specific amyloid protein acting as antigen. However, for mere confirmation of the any type of amyloid, most useful stain is anti-AP stain, since P component is present in all form of amyloid. Diagnosis of amyloid. Amyloidosis may be detected as an unsuspected morphological finding in case, or the change may be severe so that to produce symptom and may even cause death. Routine examination of biopsy or fine needle aspiration followed by Congo red staining and examination under polarized microscopy are the two confirmatory method of tissue diagnosis of amyloidosis. Histological examination of biopsy material is the commonest and confirmatory method for diagnosing in a suspected case of amyloidosis. Biopsy of an obviously affected organ is likely to offer the best result in that is example is kidney biopsy in a case of on dialysis, sural nerve biopsy in familial polyneuropathies. In systemic amyloidosis, renal biopsy provide the best detection rate, but rectal biopsy also has a good pickup rates. However, gingiva and skin biopsy have poor results. Fine needle aspiration of abdominal subcutaneous fat followed by Congo red staining and polarized microscopic examination for confirmation has become an acceptable, simple and useful technique with excellent results. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you all enjoyed this session. If you have any query, please mention it in comment box.